Yeah, hi there. It's a nice spot here. Nobody's around. Nice spot. Nobody around. I think if I remember correctly, those were the first words that John Matches 860 left on one of my videos. Nice spot, nobody around. And from that point, I don't know, it just stuck in my mind. So I quoted that over and over until people around me even got some kind of annoyed. Nice spot, nobody around. Always sounds some kind of misanthrope. So as I couldn't appreciate company of people. Well, it's not like that. Well, if you work as a teacher or a professor or someone in social business or whatever, so if you gotta work with people a lot and people depend on you, and people they want something from you, and that's okay, and you love that and you love your work and so on, but there's always a point where you feel like some kind of piece of soap getting less and less. There's a point where you gotta reload your battery, and I always thought that's what John meant. So, and that's one thing we had in common. So the appreciation of spots where nobody is around, just for a while, I guess, and then to come back with reloaded batteries, where you see the sky seems to cry. And there's good reason for that. There's good reason for that. If you know the channel, you know there are some videos they needed they needed some effort or something for me to do the video. But I think none of the videos was so difficult for me than this video. Been a few days now, So I woke up some days ago and checked my cell phone, and there was a message by Ethan, my good friend Ethan, and it was very brief and very short. Just said, "Did you hear John died?" And I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. So I never imagined YTPC without John. I don't know really why, but never thought about that. So he was a decent man. Wise even. I remember, I think one of the first comments I gave him was, well, I don't know, it was about a certain tobacco I couldn't get, and I just wrote, well, it's a shame I can't get the tobacco. I really would have liked to, but I just can't get it. And he wrote back, we want the things we can't have. And that was John, so So I never met him in person. I never had the chance, what I saw from the videos, and I don't know. So he wasn't only a guy of great knowledge and about tobacco and pipes and smoking thing, but also his wisdom about life and what he shared with us. So he was very true. That's what Tom said. So Tom, if you see that, thank you so much again. I already gave you a comment on that, but so Tom, Northwest pipe smoker, he did some very good videos, last few videos about John, where he mentioned John and where he talked about John. He even faced old Joe Kranz in honor to John. Well, Tom, you know, I'm not as brave as you are, so I'm not gonna face old Joe Kranz today, but something else, something that I think John would have appreciated. So he was true, he was authentic, but more than that, he was some kind of soul of the community. That's what I always felt. I don't know if that's for everybody, but I see the internet, the YWC is this full of videos that comment in honor to John, and I think that's the way we work on that. So we're trying to adapt as a community, and I think that's a great thing. So I don't know. There's so many things crossing my mind right now and last few days. So first day, I couldn't really believe. I didn't want to believe. I couldn't really focus on my lessons or on your video or something like that. So I don't know. It's just some kind of shock because I never thought about the possibility. So I thought, yeah, we'll go out, do a video, share something, perhaps sharing some of your thoughts, and a good smoke, and doing a review. So that's what Tom also mentioned. There's no way around that, but to continue, so to go on. I think that's what John would have appreciated, to go on. And to remember him, so he will never be forgotten. That's what Magician Piper wrote in a video, and he is right with that. Y2PC will never forget you, John. What you did for the community, and yeah, and everything. So I thought, you know, we'll go out for a spot, a nice spot where nobody's around. And yeah, just do something. So, and since I'm not gonna face old Joe Kranz or Haunted Bookshop, but so those what John's everyday go-to. We all know that. Well, then what other tobaccos John liked, and there's another thing we shared, and that is John always considered himself as a burly man, and I do too. So I see myself as a burly man, perhaps even a Kentucky man. So it doesn't mean I'm from Kentucky. So, but Eric, if you see that. So Eric always tries to teach me how to pronounce Kentucky right. What? Sorry, Eric. It's not your fault. All right. Well, there's a weather coming up here. All right. So the first smoke I shared with John, that was when he announced that he gonna smoke HH Old Darkfire by McBaren's next week. So I show you that. So I got myself a tin the week before that. That was 2015. I put a link down the bucket to John's review about the HH Old Darkfire. So And yeah, we had some exchange on that, and I think perhaps that was the point. But John really got me into the bird. So I tried the HH or dark fired, and I was impressed by that. And when John's video came up, I smoked this tobacco and watched the video, and yeah, it was just amazing. So to see what he thinks about the tobacco, and so we're gonna come back to that. So yeah, the old dark fire. So, and from that point on, I smoked the tobacco, I don't know, was some kind of everyday go-to for me for half a year or something. So I really hit that hard, and that's a difference to John. So John said in his video he really appreciates this tobacco so much that he doesn't want to think about the tobacco as an everyday go-to, because he wants to keep that special. Well, it is a special tobacco, no doubt. Show you the tobacco. Well, first I read the tin description. So, what do they say? Old dark-fired, a bold flake of dark-fired birdies, in a well-balanced unity with flute-cured Virginias. This flake is hot-pressed, meaning that during the pressing, heat is added by steam to the tobaccos, which causes the tobacco to intensify. The marrying process giving us a bolder tobacco, and it is bold. The robust, earthly flavor of the dark-fired birdies shine through in the taste, and you will experience a deeply satisfying smoke indeed. That's what they say. And they call it an English blend, although there's no Latakia added. But just because of the process they do with the tobacco, they say that's an English one. I don't think we care much about what it's called, but anyway, we smoke that anyway. So I want to add something to the things John did, because there's no sense in doing a video on just the very same video or same review. So I got two tins. I got a new tin, and so that's a new tin, very fresh. And this tin is from 2013. So can you see that? Show I prove you. Yeah, come on. Can you see that? It's from 2013. So, first of all, about the tobacco in general. John said this tobacco, he always thinks of the tobacco being outside. So, there's some kind of link to being outside and smoking the tobacco, or the other way around. So, and I think he was really right with that. So, this tobacco is so earthy, so woody, with a hint of leather notes, raisin perhaps. And some guys, that's what John said, mentioned that they think there's a hint of cigar even. And he disagreed. But I think there is a hint of a good Brazil cigar. Not something like a Cuban or Dominican Republic or something like that, but the nice sweetness that a Brazil cigar can provide. That's just what I think. So, and John was really right with, I don't know, really up to the point that this is earthy as it gets and woody as it gets, perhaps even more wood than earth. Really woody, dark wood. Really nice. Bold, but not too bold when it comes to the nicotine hit. But it is bold, and it provides a rich sweetness. So now about the difference. show you tobacco, show you the old tin, so the 7-year aged tin. So you see it's even a bit rusty. Nice flake, and it has a rich aroma. So a little bit of vinegar on the back, but mostly just leather and raisin and wood. So I don't show you the new tobacco because, believe me, there's no difference. But already the smell is different. Already the smell is different. So this one has more sweetness, is richer, and provides more deepness when it comes to the complexity of the tobacco. So my question was, after, so it's been 5 years now that I saw the video and joined the smoke with John, and that was my first smoke. I joined with John and asked myself, is it worth cellaring a tin of that? And it really is. So it's very different for several tobaccos if you want to cellar that or not, if it's really worth cellaring. And I think this tobacco is really worth cellaring. So it's really a different tobacco. So I smoked several bowls yesterday. The old matured tobacco and the fresh tobacco in two reliable pipes, and there's a huge difference. So I'm smoking the matured now, and it's really good. And I think this could be an everyday go-to, but it has a good complexity. So put a link down the docket if you want to see the old review again. You should. It's really worth it. Nobody could have done this like John did. And yeah, remember him. Honor him. So by, I don't know, as presenters, I think we should be honoring him by, yeah, I don't know, thinking of him as a role model. I don't know, when it comes to being honest as a presenter and being straight on the things you mention about tobacco or whatever. What do you see? The many things crossing my mind right now. Excuse me. So excuse me, John, because I know there's a video where you gave good advice for presenters, and you said, well, you better have your script ready. You better know what you're gonna do if you're in front of the camera. So, sorry, John, I never did this. So I'm just, I don't know, I just go in front of the camera and just tell what I think, so excuse me. So what I think John would have liked, perhaps this spot here, if not my review, I don't know, but at least the spot. So it's a nice spot here, nobody's around, and it's a memorial place here. People built that so that's in a forest in Lower Saxony. People built that for their lost sons and husbands and brothers in the First World War, and then they added a second part for the Second World War, but not many people know about this place except for the locals. That's strange. There's a list of all the memorial places. That's done by the government, but it doesn't show up on the list, this place here. So it's nearly forgotten. But you see, it's not completely forgotten. So people come here and think about something. So I like the idea that John would have liked this place. And yeah, nice place, nobody around, but we are what we are, and we've always been. So when John was at, I don't know, Fisher's Meadow or at some nice places where he seemed to be alone, but he wasn't really, because we were around, and he was around with us, and that's the important point, I think. He was always around. So as a presenter, when you watch out for different spots and sites, you could do a video, and I often do. I often thought, wow, that's a great spot. John gonna like that. John gonna love that. So he was always around in some way. So I did several videos about cemeteries, and that's another thing we had in common. He loved cemeteries, me too, so the history, and we had a lot of exchange then. What about the gravestones? Where did the gravestones come from? What's the history of the site, and so on. So that's just what I want to say. He was always around, and we always have been around when he did a video, and I think that's a part of the community that's important. So we don't do all videos for ourselves. We don't do all comments, even if you don't do videos, but you do comments or you just watch. That always also means you're around in some way, and that makes us a community, I think. So thank you again, Tom, for your videos you did about John. Nobody could have said the things you said in the way you did that. So I'm pretty sure it's highly appreciated by the community. It is. So I really appreciate that. I think most of the guys out there do. And yeah, where you said it's amazing to see how many guys coming up now with videos, and they're opening themselves and show some emotions and so on. I think we have to adapt to the situation. We have to. But it's hard. I don't know, last few days I got so many emails and comments on the channel, and Brad from Pipes and Kayaks, Brad, my good friend, hope you're well, we wrote back and forth, and we both said it's terrible loss. We can't fill the empty space, but yeah, there's something we have to do, and we just try to go on. And well, that's what Tom said. John is ahead of us, and that's true. John is ahead of us, and he's somewhere where we gonna be at one point too. So that's pretty sure. All right, we won't forget you, John. And I know you always, at this point of the video, you always said thanks an awful lot for joining me. But it was our pleasure to join you. And, well, you know what I always say at the end of the video, and this goes especially for you, John. Take care, be well, and perhaps see you again.